Anyone who agrees to play a character called Lily Bloom who runs a flower shop to contrast the ugliness of DV with the beauty of flowers, and then decides to launch her hair care campaign during the movie launching, we're not taking DV seriously, and neither did the book. Again, Ellen DeGeneres, I literally can't. But the fact that, what I don't understand is how could they unfollow him? If you're already gonna do everything else weird, you couldn't just like have decent PR and like the director so that your movie could do well, and so could the hair care line, and so could Deadpool, and like they're trying to like manufacture this big moment in Blake Lively's acting career. If you told me someone as stunning and beautiful and blonde as Miss Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants running on the beach, I think about that scene. Anytime I've ever run in my life, I think about her saying, you know, running's really easy. It's just one foot in front of the other and then you're just away, or whatever she said as her hair blew in the wind and she talked to that man who looked like her brother. Could have been her brother. Very much could have been a Cersei Lannister, Jamie Lannister moment for them too. And they weren't allowed to hook up at the camp. He also kind of looked like that Peter Pan guy from the movie. I digress. If you had told me that she would be running out of opportunity, if what I'm hearing on this here internet, I am to believe, which is that she really like wants an Oscar from this, and like she's trying to save her career with a Colleen who, I need you to listen with your good ear, a Colleen Hoover book. Genuinely, you guys, I have a niece who is 11 who I swear to you would write a more interesting book than Colleen Hoover. She's trilingual, and I'm not kidding. I know her book would be better. I just know her perspective would be more interesting. She would hear the name Lily Bloom and be like, no, that's dumb. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm so serious. If you had told me when I was 9 years old, watching Blake Lively run on the beach and probably forming a crush on her, and not even being able to process that until my later years, if you had told me that she would be running out of opportunities to the point where she has to pick up a Colleen Hoover book and use it as her holy grail. Hold on, you guys, stay with me. My mind is being blown right now. Do you think it has something to do with America Ferrera in Barbie? Because you know how people were saying they're trying to manufacture like a Barbenheimer with Deadpool and it ends with us? Do you think it hurts Blake that America Ferrera is regarded as like that bitch who can slay a monologue like that? Like that bitch. She can act. She can act. And I think Blake can serve. Honestly, I saw A Simple Favor and I liked it, but her beauty is in her mystery. Do you know what I mean? That's why she gets things like Age of Adeline. Like, she does really well as this mysterious, beautiful, elusive character. And I think Hollywood might be moving away from that or something. Or maybe not. I don't know. Then I think about, like, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman is kind of in that vein in my head. But she can act her ass off. Okay, well, we may have run into the answer. I'm not sure. I love the idea of Blake Lively, but I do think she serves best as like a mysterious character, and maybe the Oscar would need like a little bit more range. We don't really see her get down and dirty, huh? When I'm really thinking of it, like, I don't know. I just don't know how it got so bleak that we're relying on a Colleen Hoover novel to save the Blake Lively's career. That is crazy to me. If what the film heads are, if what they're saying is true, how did that happen? Can we rewind down the yellow brick road to Sisterhood? And where is Alexis Bledel? Where is Joan of Arcadia? That's a deep cut. That's a deep cut. If you are Catholic, if you were raised Catholic, you may have been, this is a long video and this is a tangent, but this is hilarious. And if you're here till now and you know what I'm talking about, you're locked in, okay? Joan of Arcadia was this show that they showed us in our religion class in grade 9 and 10. And it was meant to like, and it had all these big actors. Like that actor who plays a mom in every movie, like I think she's the mom in, again, Ryan Reynolds' Proposal. The mom, that woman with the brown, short, curly hair, very soft face, always plays a mom. She was in it. And I think a guy from like CSI or something was in it. A guy who I think dies in the Hilary Duff movie, the voice one, the last song, or no, that's Miley Cyrus. So, Raise Your Voice, there you go. He dies in the car crash. He always plays the tragic brother. He was in it, and he was great. Anyways, this show was actually really good, and then they canceled it after like 2 or 3 seasons, but we only watched it in religion class. Like we didn't have access to it outside of that. But I think a few schools did that because the point was like to teach you. They were just trying to find something to do. I think that they could show us that wasn't boring. Like I understand how teaching goes. It's easier if you can play a movie and ask people questions about it. It was weirdly a good show, but it would have God in like every person. Like it would be like every episode God was in a different person. Like it could be in a little girl, and that little girl, like you don't know what. And then Joan of Arcadia, who is Tilly in Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. So interesting how people are typecasted. Anyways, she always like has to freak out every episode and be like, what am I supposed to do with this little girl? Like what is the universe trying to do or tell me? And then she would always like find a way to save someone. Like, or she would try really hard. Oh, you know what? I remember this episode, it messed me up. It was a school shooter episode. And this kid was like a school bully or something. No, maybe he was being bullied or he was the school bully. I can't remember, one of those. Very 13 Reasons Why-esque. And something about prom. He was going to like do something at prom or something. Or this was a decade ago, you guys. The gist of it was, I remember Tilly, Joan of Arcadia, her name's Joan in the show. She was in the car with homie, and maybe he had a gun to her head or something. Long story short, I think he ended up unaliving himself, and then she was like really disappointed in herself, and then she was asking God, whoever God was in that episode, like whatever face God was wearing, like, oh, what was the point of that? Like all of that for nothing. Like he ended up unaliving himself, and God was like, no, you actually saved 9 people, because if you didn't get him out of that school, he would. And I think God was pointing at the different faces at school as they were walking by. He was like, well, you saved her, he would have shot her, blah blah blah, as she was running this way, blah blah blah, and you saved him, blah 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 blah. And then she's just looking there like, whoa. Anyways, that was the only part of religion class that I was like, that really slapped. And in conclusion, I think that Blake Lively should get her own Joan of Arcadia. And also we should bring that show back. Thanks.